again. So today I'm filming in my kitchen because I don't really have the space I'd like to have in my bedroom, so I'm filming in the kitchen. Um, so good things are happening right now, and I'll get to that toward the end of the video, or maybe in a whole nother video. We'll find out. But I guess right now I'm probably just going to talk about being disabled in public spaces because I came across two whole people in one 5-hour shift at Target who decided that it was appropriate to ask me about being in a wheelchair and why I was in the wheelchair. It was pretty irritating, to say the least. Excuse me. There's like animals wandering around, so I might like look around a lot because there are animals all over the place, all over the floor. You can't see them because they're not up here, they're down there, but they're here, I promise. So anyway, I finished up my last shift at Target yesterday to start work at a local gas station that's like a kind of a Midwestern place. They want to be the most used or most common, convenience retailer by 2021 or something like that. And Target is a pretty good place to work, just to throw that out there. I really do have quite enjoyed working at Target. But for those of you who know anything about me or have even looked at just the description of me or my channel, you'll know that I generally use a wheelchair when working. That's the dog. She has found a toy. I generally use a wheelchair when working because I have really bad back, leg, hip pain, all that. Everything pretty much below about like here, like about right here, hurts if I'm upright and standing for too long. So I use a wheelchair. And so come on up. He's thinking about it. No, he just wants to be petted. This is Cypher. He's a pretty good cat. Anyway, so I usually use the express lane, which is 10 items or less, so it doesn't give you very much time to chat with people, which is fine. But despite the fact that you have a whopping, couple of moments to chat with somebody about pretty much anything, they seem to take it as invitation to ask you about your body and why you're in a wheelchair and how long you've been using the wheelchair and all kinds of things that really it wouldn't be appropriate to ask anybody else. But they think it's okay to ask you because you're clearly disabled, and they're curious. They're just curious. It's no big deal. But it is kind of a big deal. It's really irritating. So, the thought just occurred to me the other day, that when you are visibly disabled in public, or often even invisibly disabled in public, your body kind of becomes public domain. People can ask whatever they want about you and your body and your history, your medical history, all kinds of things. They can ask whatever they want, and if you tell them that that's fucking rude, apparently that's like really offensive to them. I don't understand why, but it is. It becomes really offensive to them. They get offended that you dare call them out on being a rude motherfucker. So I don't know, your body becomes public domain, and people think it is somehow acceptable and fine to ask questions like, how long have you been in a wheelchair? Shit like that, like, what put you in the wheelchair? What happened to make you use a wheelchair? And sometimes I'll engage them and I'll indulge them because I just don't feel like getting written up or anything at work, because the fact of the matter is most managers and whatnot are perfectly able-bodied, and they see absolutely nothing wrong with customers asking you what put you in a wheelchair. What's wrong with you? They see nothing wrong with that, and that it's my obligation as, a member of the service industry to engage them and tell them what's wrong. Cat's over here asking me to rub his head, so I'm rubbing his head. He's very sweet. He just wants attention and love. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, body, public domain. And I think the thing that really irritates me most is not so much that people ask in the first place, but the fact that they get so offended when you dare tell them that, hey, that's not cool to ask. Please stop asking me that shit. It's very much along the lines of people getting offended when you call them out on being racist or whatever, because in and of itself, they're being, just by asking why you're in a wheelchair or whatever, they're being ableist and gross and invasive. And it's just gross. It's just generally gross, and it makes you not want to go out in public again. But of course you do, because you have no choice really other than going out in public and doing your thing. Ow, ow, Cypher. Claws. Ah, no. Don't mess with me, cunt. We have some dog visits here now. I found a spot. She likes it. Kisses. Oh, kisses. Good girl. Anyway. Yeah, it's pretty irritating. It's just like, I can't get over it, I know one woman was just generally curious because what she said, she had a young friend of hers who was now using a wheelchair because of the fact that he had an accident and he could no longer walk. And so he used a wheelchair, and I was talking, and it was a little less offensive and gross because, she was like, how do you feel about it? Instead of, what's wrong with you? She asked me how I felt about it more like, and I was honest about it. I thought, I told her, I think that, using the wheelchair in general has really freed me up a lot, because now, instead of asking friends to go to the store for me, I can go with them to the store to pick up something. I can go to bars with friends and hang out, stuff like that. It's a lot more fun. It's like I get to do things instead of just hanging out at home all the time, praying that one of my friends will have time to come hang out to me instead of me being able to go out with them. And of course, even outside of that, outside of the fact that it is a lot more freeing, I have to keep in mind that I am still pretty abled. I'm not... I'm still disabled, but I do have a lot more physical ability than a lot of other people do have. So while wheelchairs are the animals, well, wheelchairs are generally kind of an accessibility tool. They're a mobility item. They're there to give you freedom and more ability than you had previously. Hey, Remy. Come on. Cypher went over there to snuggle her and she wasn't having it. Yeah, they do give you more freedom than you had previously, and that's very good, but at the same time, using a wheelchair or crutches or a cane or anything that shows that you are not 100% fully able-bodied is kind of just this big signal to able-bodied people that, hey, look at me, come ask me fucking questions for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but it is. It plants a sign on your back. It's like, ask me questions. My body is yours to ask about. And it's not. So I really don't understand why that's like, okay, for able-bodied people. Able-bodied people in general, a lot of them would be very offended if you asked them about that hitting a scar on their face or some shit like that, They'd be very offended if you asked them about, like, a ragged scar across their face or something. Yet, it's cool to ask about why somebody uses a mobility aid. I don't understand, It's pretty irritating, but the way I deal with it personally is, in general, I will just make it very simple, and I talk to adults the same way I talk to children about it. I tell them, I have a disability that makes it difficult for me to walk, so I use a wheelchair. And that's the end of the statement and the end of the conversation. And the reason I make it so simple and short is because I just don't think that they don't even deserve that to begin with. But I just don't think that they deserve any kind of engagement, any further engagement. They don't deserve it, so I'm not going to give it to them. you know, so, and that's what I think everybody should do. I think everybody, you know, ever should just, you know, not engage people who ask stupid shit like that, you know, don't get any further with it, just leave it alone, drop it, that's the end, that's the extent of it, you know. I don't know, and I think if everybody did that, it would help curb this bullshit where people keep asking you about your shit and you don't want them to, and it's just, you know, I think it would help curb that shit, and it would make able-bodied people overall start to understand that it's not okay if every person did it. But again, unifying millions of people in one country even is ridiculously difficult, if not downright impossible. Like, full stop, let's be honest. So, I don't know, I guess that's it for today. I'm petting the cat again. He's over here for more pets. I guess that's it for today. I'm gonna have another video probably again pretty soon. I'm not sure about what, but I'll probably have the same hair color the next time I film. So that's a feat. That's kind of unusual, I think, but I might have the same hair color. We'll find out. I'll probably try and vlog tomorrow about when I go to Amber's parents' house to see the new kittens. Amber's parents had a stray mother cat have kittens in their garage. She had 9 kittens. That's a lot of kittens. So, I'm gonna view some kittens, I'm gonna be fed delicious grilled food, meet some dogs, you know, hang out. It's gonna be a good time. So, Remy, come here, come say bye. Have Remy come say bye. Come on. Up. Remy, don't eat the phone. Come here. Come on. Bye. Bye.